This is a story that was in Oklahoma when I initially talked about this, so this is going to be an update. I did find a better picture of the baby, which is this one right here, but I think that's like the only thing I could find after all these years, right? But we're going to give you guys a update in this saga. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing this month. Is pretty much talking about the things that have taken so long to finally get a conclusion to. And we're going to talk about these idiotic people here. But before we get into that, I may or may not use some strong language, so do not be offended. May or may not be appropriate for children, so mature audiences, this is intended for. Let me give you guys a disclaimer, and then we'll go from there.
Some viewers may find the following content offensive and controversial. The information in this video comes from multiple sources, including court records, official police charges, new website articles, and interviews. This video commentary also contains my personal opinions about the facts of this story. The point is to use this story as a cautionary tale in hopes of preventing tragedies like these to children going forward. Viewer discretion is advised. That is your official disclaimer.
And I am getting this story from lawandcrime.com. Who's shocked? Because they do a great job. Shout out to Law and Crime. A 38-year-old father in Oklahoma, so Oklahoma's taking another L, will spend more than 2 decades behind bars for fatally abusing and starving his 7-year-old daughter after he brought the severely emaciated child's body to a local hospital last year. Oklahoma County District Judge Cindy Trong on Thursday ordered Anthony Yonko. He looks at Yonkers. Don't he look Yonkers? He looks like a Yonko. Anthony Yonko is ordered to serve 24 years in a state correctional facility, court records reviewed by Law and Crime. So Judge Trong handed down the sentence after Yonko pleaded guilty to 1 count of second-degree murder of a child in the death of young Violet Mitchell, who was 7 years old. Y'all saw her picture. These are all of the people that are going to be held responsible for this angel's death, okay? And I'm going to have a little bit more to say about that lady in the top right-hand side of the screen. She's a little bit wide there. And do you guys know what severely emaciated means? If you don't, would you like to Google search it real quick? And again, I talk about this because I think it is hypocritical. The irony is so thick you could cut it with a knife. When you have somebody who understands the value of calories and carbs and steaks and steak sauce and butter biscuits and fried chicken and cookies and all this type of stuff that this big broad be eating. She is so wide they couldn't even fit both of her shoulders in the picture. Let's go back and let's take a look at this thick pile of mess right here. Because this shit right here is crazy when you have people who are this big. I'm not against big people, but I am against big people who starve others. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Everybody catch that? You understand the value of food and digestion and sodas and all the other stuff that she be eating and drinking, probably eating for about 3 or 4 people, but you starve a baby. Who's going to cry for the little girl? Her name is Violet Mitchell. Who's going to cry for her? You'll get mad. Oh, Jay's making fat jokes again, y'all. Boop, 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 boop. You're not the picture of health either, Just Jay. I know I'm not, but I ain't starving my goddamn kids. Huh? Got 2 biggins right there on the screen. Biggin number 1 and biggin number 2. And then you got Tweedledee and Tweedledum on the other side. Following his release, Yonko will be required to serve an additional 6 years on supervised release. So maybe he'll be dead by the time he gets out. Hopefully that's the way that plays out. Anyway, the victim's mother, Lisa Mitchell, is currently being scheduled to go on trial next month on 1 count of second-degree murder. The victim's uncle David Yanko and her aunt Tiffany Mitchell both pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and each were subsequently sentenced to 20 years in prison. So we only got 3 down. We got 3 down, 1 more to go. Said Oompa Loompa. Yes, absolutely. Entering the courthouse Thursday, Yanko made one comment, telling a cameraman for the Oklahoma City NBC affiliate KFOR, "Don't put me on the news." That was his statement. And I quote, "Don't put me on the news." Because you don't want to be held accountable. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to be dragged, like some people like to call it. But how's that little girl supposed to feel? She doesn't feel anything. You guys took her life. Y'all participated in her demise and in her death. But you don't want to be held accountable for that. You don't want to be recognized for that. But you did it. Or you could have just not been a father, not had a kid, not had custody. Hashtag babies for benefits. We call it babies for benefits because I personally believe that people like this only keep custody and access to these kids because they're trying to get something off of it. What is that something? We really don't know. I tend to think it's Section 8 food stamps, car vouchers, housing, child support, or whatever. I don't really know. But it's for a reason, and that's why we call it those benefits, because they clearly don't like these kids. They don't love them and don't want to see them and grow up and become anything. Officers with the Midwest City Police Department Investigations Unit at about 1:08 p.m. on Friday, August the 2nd of 2024 last year responded to a call from the County Medical Examiner's Office regarding a child brought to the emergency room of St. Anthony's Midwest Hospital. The victim was transported to the hospital in a personal vehicle at about 11:28 a.m. and pronounced dead shortly after her arrival. Medical personnel who treated the child told police that she had signs of rigor mortis and possible injuries, internal and external. A doctor stated when working on the child's numerous amounts of black and dark red secretions came from the child's mouth when pushing on her stomach area. Oh my God. Hold on. That's crazy. Fix that real quick. I'm not going to read that again. The child was extremely malnourished, weighing only 25 pounds and approximately 37 inches tall. And I want y'all to remember that she was, I think, 7 years old. 25 pounds, 37 inches tall. The average weight for a female child at that age is about 50 pounds, according to the Center for Disease Control. I don't know why it's doing that, but one of those pictures are messed up. I don't know. Anyway, Yanko told police that he, Mitchell, and their children had been staying at the Vista Green Apartments in the 7,000 block of East Reno Avenue, about 7 miles east of Oklahoma City. From there, police say the father's story continued to change. Yanko initially claimed that he went to sleep. How many times have y'all heard this? And they don't know nothing, y'all. About 9 p.m. on August the 1st, while Mitchell and the victim slept on a small couch in the same room, according to the affidavit. He said he woke up around 9 a.m. the following day, and Mitchell told him the victim was not moving and was sick and needed to go to the hospital. Yanko claimed his friend, quote-unquote friend, took him, Mitchell, and the victim to the hospital, but he was unable to provide a name or a phone number for the friend. He also said they had been feeding the victim crackers and soup because she possibly had the flu, which we now know is bullcrap. Though they had not been to a doctor since the girl was much younger. Police placed Yanko under arrest and transported him to the Midwest City Jail, where he was read his Miranda rights and allegedly agreed to speak with detectives a second time. Now, during the interview, Anthony changed his story numerous times, stating the only people in the apartment were him, Lisa, and the victim, the police wrote in the affidavit. So that's coming out of his mouth. He later stated Lisa's sister, boyfriend, and 2 or 3 other kids were in the apartment when he woke up this morning to Lisa saying that the victim was not moving. Anthony said that Lisa was playing with the victim this morning, but then stated that she was not moving. Asked about his daughter's emaciated state, Yanko allegedly claimed that the victim weighed 50 pounds only 4 or 5 days prior and was completely healthy, which is not even possible for that to happen. Further stating that he feeds the child all the time. He had no explanation as to why she weighed only 25 pounds and was very unhealthy at the time of her death. Yanko further clarified that his brother was the person who took him and his family to the hospital, adding that the brother had been staying in their residence as well. 25 pounds is what the report said at 7 years old. It's crazy. Yanko's brother allegedly told police that the morning of August the 2nd, Yanko was freaking out and said they needed to get the victim to the hospital. The brother said he dropped the parents and the child at the hospital and drove away because he was afraid and needed to get to work. A subsequent autopsy reportedly determined that Violet died after swallowing the rubber top of a baby bottle nipple that completely blocked the first part of her intestines. So yeah, I don't know which picture it is. It's one of those. Is it? So, allegedly, a rubber top of a baby bottle nipple completely blocked the first part of her small intestines. The autopsy report from the Oklahoma City office of the chief medical examiner also noted that the 7-year-old victim had sunken eyes, weighing just 29 pounds and measured 40 inches in length, referring to her as essentially skin on bones. She was wearing a diaper sized for a 3-year-old when she was brought to the hospital on the morning of August the 2nd of 2024. The medical examiner listed Violet's cause of death as failure to thrive. It is unclear to this examiner if the intestinal obstruction by the foreign body is accidental or intentional. Excuse me. One of the victim's cousins reportedly told the authorities that on multiple occasions, Violet had her mouth glued shut by her parents. Let me say that again. This baby, one of the victim's cousins reportedly told authorities on multiple occasions, her mouth had been glued shut. And these jackass people act like they don't know why this baby died. And that's why I think charge them, convict them, get them out of here, because they're lying. Let me give you guys the fair usage and then we'll go from there.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
And I agree with what you just said in the chat. Y'all do me a favor, and if y'all are listening, please hit that thumbs up. Stop what you're doing, and please hit that thumbs up and share this video. Just the fact that a 7-year-old child can be associated with 28 pounds, the height, sunken in eyes, starvation, a bottle, and diapers on a 7-year-old? Nah, man, this is real effed up. But again, I think they all need life sentences. You just can't fix this level of stupid. So let's hear from the news. And let me give a shout out real quick to our friend in the chat, DM Costa. Thank you very much for rejoining us over there on channel membership. Thank you. Much love. Appreciate you. What's up, Zay? All right, let's get it. Here we go.
And we just want to warn you before we get too far into this story that some of the details here are very graphic and are not easy to hear.
The little girl's parents have both been arrested, and now we're learning what allegedly happened to her before she was rushed to the hospital.
News 4's Dylan Brown is here with details on this, new details. Dylan.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. It's going to be hard to hear for some. So the parents already in jail. Now the child's aunt and uncle are also locked up. Police say they knew about the abuse. The details of what exactly happened to that 7-year-old come from their own daughter.
A Bible verse and a sign of hope at this Midwest City apartment.
Baby didn't deserve what she got.
Neighbors say it seemed like there was no hope, though, for 7-year-old Violet Mitchell, who lived there. In early August, she would be taken to the hospital by her parents, Anthony Yanko, Lisa Mitchell, dead, wrapped in a blanket, weighing only 25 pounds.
To a child. That's sad. That's disgusting.
The victim's aunt and uncle, David Yanko, Tiffany Mitchell, now also charged in the case. The arrest warrant says their daughter, the victim's cousin, was able to help police understand the horrors in the home they all often shared. She says for months, the parents tortured the girl, allegedly pouring hot food on Violet's arms and legs, gluing her mouth shut. The cousin would have to dig the glue out of her mouth. They reportedly hit her with a broom. The 7-year-old was kept in a crib for a long time, possibly a month. If Violet cried, she says they cursed at her and kept food from her. Sometimes the cousin would grab Violet and run out of the house, so they would stop hitting her. Other accusations, they would tie Violet's arms and legs with strings, leave her in a crib in the home. The young girl told police she would untie her cousin, but was scared and would tie her back up before everyone came back. This all while the cousin herself says she was abused.
Spend the rest of their life in jail.
Because why?
That's a baby. That's a child. They're helpless.
Tara Day lives nearby. She says she fed Violet 2 days before her death.
She just said she was hungry.
And would you end up feeding her?
Feeding her chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, and green beans and corn.
Did she tell you anything about the parents saying, hey, this is an issue or this is
No, she said her parents loved her. And that's all she said. And she cried, and I took her back home. But I took her because she was hungry.
Did
and
she look like she was?
She was malnutrition.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, David Yanko, Tiffany Mitchell face neglect and aggravated abuse charges. All 4 are in jail right now, and all 4 had kids. Those kids are said to be in DHS custody.
Also, a Metro father could spend 30 years in prison for abusing and starving his 7-year-old daughter.
Man, oh man. News 4's Dylan Brown is live at the courthouse for us with details. And Dylan, this story is almost hard to report.
Yeah, it really is, Kevin, Jolie. We've been giving you updates. But just behind me, Anthony Yanko was sentenced earlier today after the murder of his little girl, Violet Mitchell. He got to have a statement in court. He said in part, "I love my babies. I wish it was me and not my baby." Now, after he was sentenced, I asked if he regrets what he did.
Anthony Yanko stood before an Oklahoma County judge Thursday pleading for leniency after the murder of his 7-year-old daughter, Violet Mitchell. The young girl found last year having been abused and starved to death at their apartment in Midwest City. 4 family members arrested in connection to her death. The uncle, David Yanko, and the aunt, Tiffany Mitchell, sentenced to 20 years. Police called to the Shelton Apartments in August of last year. Officers detail how the family tortured the girl, allegedly pouring hot food on Violet's arms and legs, gluing her mouth shut, hitting her with a broom. Witnesses detail how they would tie Violet's arms and legs with strings and more. The top of a bottle found lodged in Violet's stomach. Last year, I talked to who might have been the last person to help Violet, feeding her just 2 days before her death.
She said her parents loved her. And that's all she said. And she cried, and I took her back home.
In court, Yanko's defense argued he's mentally challenged. Yanko telling the judge, "I love my babies. I wish it was me, not my baby. I love my daughter so much. Well, here I am. Whatever you want to do, go ahead." The judge sentencing him to 30 years.
You regret what you did at all?
We don't have any comment. Thank you.
What do you have to say to...
Elevator 7, please.
What do you have to say to your other kids?
We don't have any comment. Thank you.
Why'd you do it, Mr. Yanko? Why didn't you take her to a hospital?
Is that the 4th or 5th time? Yeah, we don't have any comment for you. Thank you. All right. See you, Mr. Yanko.
Yeah, so he didn't really give an answer there, but overall, Yonko was sentenced for the second-degree murder of a child. The mother in this, that's Lisa Mitchell. She has a jury trial set for November 17th right here in Oklahoma County. Live here downtown Oklahoma City, Dylan Brown, Oklahoma's News 4.
And we'll go ahead and wrap that up right there. I mean, he had an opportunity to speak and say something, to explain it or whatever it is, you know. Legally, I know he doesn't have to or anything like that, but, you know, your conscience should kick in at some point. You're already going to have to suffer for it, you know what I'm saying? But to just give no explanations and kill a baby like that is just flat out ridiculous. I think all of these people, including the last person waiting on the list, which I think is on the top left-hand corner, we cannot wait to get that final sentencing. So maybe we'll do an update on that to catch that. Other than that, throw all of these people away. They need life in prison, as much time as possible. 20 years, I think, should be enough, but it's never going to bring this baby back. But she deserved every opportunity to grow up and become something great outside of the hands of these people. She was tortured. Violet, young princess, R.I.P. Thank you guys for supporting her story over all these years and trying to get justice. And that's all we could do is hope to get justice, okay? Thank you guys. Make sure you share this story and make it go viral. Maybe a lot of people have never seen this, especially out of Oklahoma. So make it go viral and let everybody know what happened here, okay? Thank you.